Very strange game. We were tonight just not good enough. It's strange that you still lose a game like this because we had enough chances. We missed a penalty. We had really enough chances. We won, especially in the first half, enough balls when they were from them, where they want to play football. But what we did then with the balls were just not right, and so we played a really bad game. And so yes, well deserved.
You're so used, obviously, to seeing Liverpool score. What was missing in the final third? What was it?
Oh, decision making, maybe a little bit of luck here and there. That's how it is. Sometimes there's an inch on the foot, the ball is in or not. But we should have had more of these moments. We had enough to score, to win, but if you don't use them, you need more of them. That's what we couldn't do as well. And then, of course, second half. So I think we started okay. Then we lost completely rhythm. Didn't really get it back, then they score, and then we are under pressure, and from now we force it. And apart from the last 10 minutes, with a massive chance, obviously it was really good football when Sadio in front of the goal. But apart from that, it was then more like really force it with a set piece, stuff like this, and we were free and had free headers from the set pieces, which we usually use as well. So yeah, there's nothing else to say. And with the circumstances, especially Leicester played 2 days ago, they deserve it absolutely.
What about the way in which Leicester were able to counter-attack and get the goal? Clearly that was part of their plan. You would have seen that coming.
Must be completely right. Must be. Yeah, it was a little bit like you could see it coming a little bit. They had one shot on target. So it was now not that they had plenty of chances, but in this moment we lost the ball high up the pitch, or didn't win the ball back high up the pitch. Should have done then, obviously defended it better, no doubt about that. We do that usually. Why we didn't do it today, it's really difficult to explain in the moment. So it's really difficult. There were so many performances below normal level. What's that? No real explanation in the moment.
How do you then look at the table? Manchester City, 9 wins in a row. They're on that superb run. The gap is 6 points. We're at the halfway stage, but some might look at that gap and say it's a big gap.
It is. It is. We said it's a big gap, but look, you can imagine in this moment, the gap to City is not my problem. So if we play football like this more often, then we don't have to think about it. If we play our football, normal football, Liverpool football, then we have a chance to win a lot of football games, and then we will see where we end up. But for the moment, is the gap not my main problem?
So the key now is how you recover from this.
Recover, yeah. We have to. Defeat is a defeat, a proper defeat. If you don't learn of it, so and we have to learn, and we will. The first thing, don't do it ever again like this, because we had from a specific moment no rhythm, and we're not calm enough to get the rhythm back, and it's our fault.
Thank you, Jurgen.
Look at the match stats afterwards. Well, Liverpool will be scratching their heads as to how they didn't score, considering their dominance. 21 shots on goal, 4 on target, 63% possession, 587 passes. But the most notable is that figure at the end. The most touches in an opposition box without scoring this season, with Liverpool in all having 67. Well, let's have a look then at that all-important winning goal as far as Leicester's concerned. 3 minutes having just come off the bench, Ademola Lookman scored for consecutive league games for the first time in his Premier League career.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a great substitute to have come on, to be honest with you. Someone who's direct, someone who can take the ball, dribble past players and commit players. Here he plays it into Dewsbury Hall and makes a run behind him, but doesn't just... He follows his run as well and just carries on into the box. No one can touch him. And then just slips the ball past the goalkeeper. Here, Lookman gets the ball. Trent doesn't really actually follow him. And then you look at Dewsbury Hall making a run, and Henderson's pointing at where someone to follow him. Doesn't follow him himself, but then just doesn't passes the ball, and then follows the ball and follows the run into the box. No one could touch him in there. And I was talking about the goal here. If you look at Virgil, he's blocking the other side, so the goalkeeper should not let that ball come into his near post. That's not a goal that he's going to be happy with, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, Leicester manager is definitely happy with that.
Should Alisson be beaten from there?
I personally would think no. I think it's a scruffy goal in that respect, because, as Emil rightly said, Virgil van Dijk knows. You can see him, he's crouching his legs. It's not going to go through his legs. If Ademola Lookman bends it around Virgil van Dijk and around the goalie into the far court, fair play to him, it's a wonderful goal. But when he just hits it straight into that near post, I wasn't particularly happy when the way the goal went in. I thought Leicester were brilliant in the build-up. Dewsbury Hall, I thought, was excellent, running into that space. Look at Lookman's pace here. I know he's only just come on the field, but as Emmy said, his desire. Matip can't touch him, but you see Van Dijk slows him down, sort of closes his legs, so it's not going through his legs. And that's the area you're thinking, if there's one place where the goalkeeper's going to be standing, it's at his near post. So, yeah, you know, Leicester deserved everything they got today for their overall performance. I wasn't particularly happy with the goal, not at all.
Interesting, though, how Leicester, with that move, found space out on the flanks, because for much of that first half, any width belonged to Liverpool, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, because, again, they were tucked in quite narrow, and it wasn't until Lookman actually came onto the pitch and they changed the formation. Lookman played a bit more wide, and they only played with one up front.
Yeah. We look back now at the 14th minute as being one of the key moments in the game, and the penalty miss, or save, we should say, by Kasper Schmeichel.
Yeah.
What about the foul itself for you, Steve?
Yeah, it was a foul, wasn't it? I think even indeed he noticed that it was a foul. He knows he's bringing Salah down. He doesn't have to. He was rash. He was silly, really, to go diving in when there's that many blue shirts in and around him. So it was a penalty. Unfortunately for Mo Salah, he couldn't convert it, which is very unlike him. But it was just one of those nights for the forwards, wasn't it?
James Maddison with a few choice words, no doubt, at this point.
A bit of gamesmanship, wasn't it? A bit of gamesmanship. That's what you're trying to get into the player's head, and he did. But it was a good save from Schmeichel. That header there, he's got up too early. He's got up too early because he thinks that everyone's behind him, and then he's actually he's coming down as it's hitting him on his head.
But by his own high standards, Steve, is that a poor penalty from Mo Salah?
Well, if you see his stats of where he's put penalties before, he scored a lot in that type of area, to be very honest. It's just the fact that, of course, Kasper Schmeichel went the right way and saved it, but you've seen many penalties just down the middle of the goal, and, you know, if the goalie stands there, you see there that there's not many emphatically smashed into the corners of the box. Most have gone in virtually in the centre of the goal, where you'd expect the goalkeeper to be favoured to stop. Yeah. So it was just a great stop by him, and, you know, one of those nights for Mo Salah. I don't think he was at his best, but you're almost forgive him because of the season he's already had. Yeah, it is only the second time he's missed a penalty in the Premier League in 17 attempts. But let's get reaction then from the Leicester dressing room, from the man that made the save from 12 yards. Here's Leicester's goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel.
Well, Kasper, considering the defensive issues you've had this season, considering the opposition, where'd you place tonight and the win?
An important win, a very important win. You know, the turnaround being so fast, having a very difficult game 2 days ago, or 2 days ago. You know, to go out second half in the previous game, perform the way we did, and then today going in, you know, tired legs, tired minds, going in, putting in a performance like that. You know, it's a credit to everyone. It's a credit to our mentality. You know, we haven't had it our way this season, I think, and the thing we always character ourselves about ourselves is that we don't give up. We keep going, and today that was that.
What was key to your penalty save? Because it seemed to give the whole stadium a lift once it had happened, almost some real belief. But what was key from your point of view?
Saving it.
Absolutely.
That was key.
But did you study? Have you studied Mo Salah's penalty taking? Was it an instinctive thing?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Had a feeling. Went with it.
Yeah. And then when you see him following up with the header,
yeah, you're just praying. We know we haven't had that kind of luck. You know, I think the last penalty I saved here at the King Power, they scored the rebound, so we needed that little bit of luck, which we got today a couple of times. But when you're up against an opposition that good, you know, you need that bit of luck. We didn't have it against City. We had it a bit today.
So Kasper there saying that Leicester got the rub in the green for some of that game, but he had to do some pretty spectacular saves. He pulled some out, didn't he, second half, as Liverpool asked question after question. Yeah, Liverpool asked lots of questions, but in the second half, I thought saving the first half, this save, I thought this was a brilliant save. And it happened so quickly, you don't realise how good it was. But this shot from behind the goal shows he got a good height on it. Salah, but it was a wonderful save. This was the one. That's simple enough. Look at that space. He just has to keep it low. It's actually harder to put it over the bar from that far out. But I mean, apart in the second half, he didn't have to make a host of saves, Kasper Schmeichel, and that's down to the wonderful defensive play. I think this was going wide if you see the shot from behind the goal. But, you know, the defensive display from
Ndidi, Amate, Samare, Thomas, Castagna. It was brilliant, brilliant. So you see here, lots of chances, but lots of, headers going wide, lots of frustration by Liverpool. You don't say it often, but you say it tonight, not enough quality in the final third. Tsimikas down the right, when he was put through, not the right ball across, always pulling it back, hitting defenders. Trent put a lot of decent balls into the penalty area, but just didn't have the quality tonight. And I said, you can never have a go at Trent because the assists he's made. But tonight, it just didn't count. You see by them, they only had 4 shots on target tonight. And that's why. Plenty of shots on goal. Well, plenty of shots, but not enough on target. That's all that matters.
And Emil, the frustrations will be clear for Liverpool to see, because no doubt they would have gone into this game thinking that Leicester were there for the taking.
Well, yeah, definitely. And I've seen it, their set pieces. They had so many set pieces today. And actually won the first contact, but that first contact wasn't good enough at times. But they kept on going and kept on huffing and puffing, and really, I think it was only the Salah, the save from Salah, and the Mane one over the top. They're the only real clear-cut chances that they made.
Yeah.
Apart from that, you can't really say there was really clear-cut, and that's what you expect from Liverpool. You're expecting clear-cut one-on-ones, and goalkeeper having to be really busy, but we haven't seen that.